How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. I just wanted to share something with you guys. I guess there's a lot of controversy over Astrobot getting Game of the Year, which you guys know I wanted it to get Game of the Year. Uh, I guess the company that was behind uh, Black Myth Wukong, the CEO, I guess he said that he felt like it was rigged, but he got award. They got an award. I remember when that game came out. The reason why I didn't get that game, because there's so many games out there that's like that same kind of, you got God of War that's like, it's got the same type of gameplay. You got Last of Us 2, you got cutscenes and then you got gameplay and it just, they're all the same. Just not the same. Each one is different. What I'm saying is that, and I'm gonna read some comments because the CEO was pretty upset. I read the article. I'm not gonna read the article to you, but I guess he actually wrote down a speech for accepting the title for Game of the Year. He thought 2 years in advance that he was gonna get Game of the Year. I guess they put so much heart and soul into this game. But what about everybody else? What about everybody else that put heart and soul in the game? It ain't just him. I don't know how he thinks that he should get Game of the Year because 2 years ago he got a speech prepared to accept the Game of the Year. He just thought that he was going to get Game of the Year. Am I saying Black Myth Wukong's a bad game? Not at all. I can tell that's a good game. I'm just tired of those type of games. That's why I was so happy that Astrobot got Game of the Year. And everybody's just wanting all these, Elden Rings and God of War and Last of Us. I'm gonna read some of the comments of some of the people that is upset about this, and some people saying that they're never gonna watch a Game Awards again. When last year everybody was upset because they had somebody in the background that had a big screen saying, "Hurry up, let's wrap it up," and then the people that won the Game Awards, the Game Award title last year, they couldn't even talk about how, they sacrificed. I think it was Baldur's Gate 3, won the Game Awards last year. I don't know who won it, but they couldn't even talk about, all the people that was involved. They had to hurry up. They couldn't share, their journey of how the game was made and how they put so much in it. They had to talk real quick because it kept saying, "Hurry up, wrap it up." Y'all remember that? This one is different. Now I'm gonna read these comments. I'm not saying Black Myth Wukong doesn't deserve it at all. What I'm saying is that I am shocked that Astrobot won the game. And maybe that's why these people are shocked as well. Because they probably didn't think a game like that would have a chance to win Game of the Year due to the fact that it's a fun game. It's a fun game for family. It's a fun game for a dad and his daughter, dad and his son, a brother and a sister. Just you can go to a Christmas party and you could pop it in and have families play that game, and it's just a fun game. Black Myth Wukong is just it's the same game like a God of War and like a Last of Us. It's just a guy look like a monkey. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I ain't got nothing against Black Myth Wukong. I could tell that game is probably good. And that game, when it first came out, it had some issues, and it had a lot of invisible walls. You couldn't go through certain areas, and it had to, that game wasn't like free of problems. You understand what I'm saying? And so for the CEO to be upset, just think that he's just going to automatically just waltz in there and just get Game of the Year. No, I disagree with him. But you got gamers that are hardcore gamers more than me. They were mad that Astrobot got Game of the Year. They said, "Nah, I'm not going to watch Game of the Year no more." But I personally think there's hope now for Game of the Year because the Game Awards, because of the fact that Astrobot got Game of the Year. I'm telling y'all folks straight out, I thought they would shy away from that and not give it Game of the Year. I thought that they would give Astrobot 3 or 4 titles just so people like me would not complain and be all kind of like, oh, I was kind of, because if they wouldn't got it, I would have been like, man, I was kind of hoping it got, Astrobot would have got that, man, especially with, a game like that. And it's kind of like like a throwback to, Crash Bandicoot and Mario and Nintendo and all that. That's what I would have said. But be mad if Black Myth Wukong would have got Game of the Year? I wouldn't, because you know what I said? I said it's going to come down to Black Myth Wukong in that Elden Ring DLC. Because I said that's just how they're wired. That's just how society is wired. They ain't going to give a game like that, nothing because they ain't got nothing in it. No, Black Myth Wukong ain't got nothing in it either. Elden Ring does not either. I will say that. But anyway, I said, it says, thank you to all the fans around the globe who cheered Astrobot to become Game of the Year 2024. You are the ones who make our hearts beat every day. Love from Astrobot and all us at Team Asobi. That's the tweet that Team Asobi put out. Now here are some people. It says, me after Astrobot won Game of the Year, and I'm not going to play it. It's a video. And then this one guy on here says, Astrobot winning Game of the Year is a massive joke. What the F? And then another one on here says, no disrespect on Astrobot, but how did that beat Black Myth Wukong for Game of the Year, bro? Yeah. How did that beat Black Myth Wukong for Game of the Year, bro? Telling me Astrobot is worthy to be with God of War, Elden Ring, and The Last of Us. You daggone right. It's not about the game and the story. It's about how the game was made. It's about how that game was so... They put quality and they put so much... Play the game. Find out how good that game is. Play the game. As you play the game, it gets harder and harder. It's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game. But this is what this person said. You telling me Astrobot is worthy being with God of War, which I don't really care for. I'm not saying God of War is a bad game. It's just I tried to play both games. I've just never completed both games. I know you can throw the axe and you can bring the axe back and don't get me wrong. I haven't finished it. I can't really say that game is bad. I'm just not feeling it with that game. Last of Us? Oh yeah, that game. The first Last of Us should have got Game of the Year. And Last of Us 2, I did not care for that game. But I also thought that game should get Game of the Year because it took me almost 8-9 days. I came home every day and played that game. And that game was exhausting. And with all the controversy of Last of Us 2, I still thought after it got Game of the Year, I said, I can't blame him from getting Game of the Year. I got Game of the Year because I was exhausted after playing that game, you guys. I was exhausted. As much as I did, I told you, I pre-ordered it, and then the guy told me, he said, hey, man, you need to get on YouTube, man. They leaked out what happened. I said, what happened? He said, man, you ain't going to like it. So I was like, I ain't going to watch it then. So I decided to watch it. That's when I found out they killed Joe in the first beginning of the game. Then that's when I found out they had this butch-looking chick that looks like some dude with muscles, but she's a chick. And then you play her half the game. And I read all that. So I canceled the order. And then I sat on it and I said, you know what? I'm going to get it anyway. So I ended up, throwing my order back in. And I got it a couple days after it was released. In spite of all the controversy and all the stuff that was said about with Joe dying in the middle of earlier in the game, and you play half Ellie and you play half of that butch chick. I played it, and even after I played, I ain't gonna lie, man. I did not expect that game to be that way. But at the same time, when I'd seen it got Game of the Year, I think it deserved Game of the Year because it was such a controversial game, In spite of me not caring for that game, I played it, and that was a good game. And yes, it should have got Game of the Year. But this person actually said, "You telling me Astrobot is worthy to be a game of, worthy to be with God of War, Elden Ring, and Last of Us? Really? Really? It says the Game Awards. That's like saying this is the Game Awards, but you're not allowed to be in the Game Awards, even though you're a game. But you're not allowed to be in this game. It can only be these deep dive, serious stories and cutscenes and all that. I don't know, man. I could go on. Then this one guy says, guys, I think it's time to stop watching Game Awards, seriously. So what did you say when Last of Us 2 won Game Award? Everybody was mad about that. Ah, man. Let's see what this person said. Me, myself, this person here says, me, myself, saying Astrobot didn't deserve Game of the Year when they go and play the game for the first time. Has something where she wants to play it. So, let's see. This other person said Astrobot winning. Okay. This one hits me. Hits the way I think. Okay. Astrobot, this person on his Twitter says, Astrobot winning shows companies people want actual games with heart and soul and joy in it, and not hyper-realistic, boring cutscenes, futter slop. This and cutscenes and futter slop. This is a win for gaming as a whole. No matter who you wanted to win, this is objectively good and will steer gaming in a good direction. See, that is why, you guys, that is why I wanted it to get Game of the Year. I want them to stop all this just giving it to these types of games that all falls into the same category as The Last of Us, even though I love the game. God of War and freaking Wukong. Look at those games. They're all basically the same type of style. Elden Ring and all of them. Are these games bad? No. I'm saying that I agree with this person. And I agree with this person. So, yeah, I just wanted to share you guys some of these tweets. I'm going to read that one more time. It says, this person said, Astrobot winning shows companies people want actual games with heart and soul and joy in it, and not hyper-realistic, boring cutscene futter slop. This is a win for gaming as a whole. No matter who you wanted to win, this is objectively good and will steer gaming in a good direction. Because it had to be shocking to the hardcore gamers, because they're into all that, playing these long drawn out, super deep dive stories. I like them too. Am I saying anything back with Wukong? No. I could tell that the Chinese company put their heart and soul in it. But for them to sit back and just sit there and say, oh yeah, I had my award speech 2 years ago prepared. You had your award speech 2 years, but what about all these other companies out here that's putting their heart and soul in that? What did they sit there and think that they should have won? I mean, think about this. I'm automatically thinking that because I think my game is so good, 2 years from now, it's going to win Game of the Year. That means anybody else that's working on anything else, they ain't putting their heart and soul in it like I am. How do you know that? Well, then you just found out. You just found out because Astrobot also put their heart and soul in it. And yes, if you look at their surprising face, they didn't think they was going to get surprised. They didn't think they was going to get Game of the Year. I thought it was going to be, myself, I said it makes too much sense. Too much sense. With all the crap that's going on in the world and all the stuff that's going on, the stuff that people just love to see, that some of it just is bull crap, I said they will not give Astrobot Game of the Year. Here's how I look at it in the world's view. This is from me reading scripture. Well, we can't give that Game of the Year now because, kids really love that game. And also, families can get that game and they can put it in there and there's nothing in that game. Now, we really can't do that. Well, is there anything in the game that's like, no, there's nothing, no. What's the game all about? It's just a platform game. It's kind of like, back when Nintendo, it's kind of like a Nintendo game. But you know how Nintendo makes it, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can't let that win. It doesn't have anything. No. Any political messages? No. Any anything? No. It's just fun. So you telling me that a father that wants to play with his little girl and, spending father and daughter time together, they put that game in and his little girl wants to play it, they can sit down and play it with nothing in it and you don't have to worry about his daughter seeing anything or his little boy, or they want to take it somewhere where everybody can enjoy the game and ain't got to worry about nothing. Yeah. Oh, we really can't let them win. We can't let them win Game of the Year. We can't do that. Not in today's world. We got to go for something else. You see what I'm saying here? This is not about Black Myth Wukong being a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game at all. But when that game first came out, I know it had some issues. It had some issues. Astrobot came out and it just, not to mention, Black Myth Wukong give you free DLCs like every other month. They might have been short speed runs, I guess they call them. You guys, look, I am no big gamer by far. And y'all know my age. I'm not ashamed of my age at all. That's why I let you guys know how old I am. I read the Bible. I stay fit. I lead a boring life, man. I can't take this with me. I die tomorrow. This weight room, this phone, everything. It's just my kids got to come in and clean all this crap out. I can't take this with me wherever I go. I'll be gone. I'm just not that worldly guy. But what I'm trying to say here is that when I was so happy that Astrobot got Game of the Year, I feel like there's hope. I really do. I feel like there's hope. Maybe this will stop. Put the brakes on, and maybe the gaming industry will start. Maybe the gaming industry will start investing in more games like that. Because they just stopped They just stopped Ratchet and Clank. They didn't stop Ratchet and Clank. They stopped Jak and Daxter. I would love for somebody to make another Jak and Daxter. My one son who plays video games, he's a big Jak and Daxter fan. We always wanted to see them make a new Jak and Daxter. Oh, we can't do that. No. We can't do that. Why? Well, we know it'll be a good game. And we know people will like that game. And there's a lot of, it's got nostalgia. And a lot of people are in the early 30s. No, we can't do that. No, because I know that if they was to do that game, they're going to make it so good that everybody's going to like it. And we can't afford to have that go to Game of the Year again. We got to get these deep dive, depressing messages and all that kind of stuff. Wukong is nothing like that. Wukong is just a good game. It has a lot of, Chinese culture stuff in there. I'm shocked it didn't get it. I am, but I'm glad. It's too bad because when I woke up and I seen that they got it, I was like, yes, like that. That's how I was. Because in this world, I didn't think it would get Game of the Year. I knew they'd give it to like a Elden Ring or something like a God of War or Last of Us, which I like Last of Us, and Black Myth Wukong. I kept sitting there saying, the whole day, I kept saying, yeah, man, Black Myth Wukong going to get Game of the Year. They're going to get Game of the Year. They're going to get Game of the Year. Even they thought they was going to get Game of the Year, apparently. That's why the CEO is writing all these articles about he thinks the Game Awards is rigged. I'd be like this, well, you can just stay your ass home next year then, if you feel that way. Because the way that you thought that your game was so good and you put your heart and soul into that game and you thought 2 years ago that you wrote a speech thinking that you was going to win that, when you know there's other people 2 years ago that's doing the same thing that you're doing, how do you know that nobody else is putting their heart and soul into the game? Not taking nothing away from Black Myth Wukong, because I'm going to get that game on sale. I ain't buying that game anytime soon. I got too many games to play. But I will eventually get into that game. I heard it's a good game. And my hat's off to them. They got a couple of awards. It's just not the one that they wanted. But anyway, you guys, that's all I got to say. I did not bash Black Myth Wukong. It's just that I'm shocked that they didn't get Game of the Year. Because I just knew it was a shoo-in. I just knew it'd be a shoo-in. I knew it'd be a shoo-in. And apparently they did too, but they didn't get it. Astrobot get it. There's hope. Good Lord, there's hope. Hopefully maybe some of these developers can get their head out of their rear end and start making more games like this, you know? We got games that a lot of people are way younger than me that wants people to bring games back. They just refuse. Just refuse. Anyway, I don't get that much views, but you know what? This is my opinion. God bless. Take care, and we'll catch you next video. Have a good week.